This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And don't worry, this isn't a mistake. What you're reading at the bottom of your screen underneath this episode right now, we are still covering Totally Spies.
Mm-hmm.
Grace explained it briefly last week, I think, that because of math and the way numbers and calendars work, things we don't think about in advance more often than not, we decided to do a couple extra episodes of Totally Spies for this arc than we would for our typical episode arc, because there's like this weird 2 or 3 week period between this and spooky season, aka Halloween. Spooky. And we always do a Halloween arc. So we're like, why not just do a couple more episodes of Totally Spies to fill the gap until we start covering Halloween episodes. So that being said, we got a couple more episodes of Totally Spies, which I'm cool with.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we decided to do it. We were like, we like this show.
Actually, I'm admitting right now, I'm not cool with this, Grace.
Grace's idea was trash.
It's terrible, but let's do it anyways.
Wow.
Yep. So on that note, you're up, Grace, with your trash episode.
This trash episode of this trash show that we love. Tell me you love it. So today I picked an episode simply so I could insert some plot irrelevant fun facts around the setting of this episode.
I'm here for it.
Which, like, on, you know, like the little screen grab on the Totally Spies YouTube, I like saw what the setting was, and I was like, I'm in.
Nice.
Done. No questions asked. No, I don't care what the plot is.
That's why I chose my bonus episode too. We'll get there next week, but oh my god, so I can't wait to hear yours.
Which, like, for context, like how I usually pick episodes is like Wikipedia has like a 2-sentence summary of every show's episode ever. And I usually just like briefly browse that until I see like keywords that seem interesting. But this time I judged a book by its cover.
Nice. The best way.
Yeah,
the only way.
So I'm doing season 1, episode 3, which is entitled Get Away. And the setting, we're going to go right into it, is we start off in our cold open in the crater of one of the 15 volcanoes that make up Hawaii.
Oh.
We're having a lot of volcano talk this episode. So don't worry, though. This dude is on one of the dormant volcanoes, aka, for those who don't know, that means not like actively erupting or about to erupt, because there are only 6 active volcanoes, which, thank God, in Hawaii, because the youngest and most active one was erupting almost continuously from 1983 to 2018. And another one of the volcanoes in Hawaii, which is Mauna Loa, is the largest volcano on Earth and most recently erupted in 2022 for like 2 weeks straight. So they're very active. There's only 6 of the 15 that are active, very active. But throughout the Pacific, there's well over 100 volcanoes. And before I go on, a deep apology to all of the volcanists. So that's people who study volcanoes. That I do know, because I do actually know some, which
that's cool.
Is why I picked this episode again.
No big deal.
One of them is currently in Iceland as we speak, studying volcanoes. Another one actively studies all of them in Hawaii. So this episode goes out to them. But I will obviously be simplifying things to the point where they will want to scream. Because
these people live in Iceland and Hawaii.
One of them used to live in Hawaii when she was getting her PhD, but the other one is in New York.
Do they have couches that friends of friends can sleep on? I want to visit these places so bad.
I mean, one of them in Iceland right now is posting a lot of pictures of the active lava that they're studying. So I guess you could go stay on some lava.
Cool. I'm heat resistant.
So there you go.
Yeah, magma resistant.
Exactly.
Cool.
So yes, I am not a volcanologist, aka again, someone who studies volcanoes. I am a Vulcan enthusiast, which is a term I came up with.
And also, sorry, one last thing. It makes me think of Star Trek because the Vulcans are like, they're I'm like, which one is it?
So actually, it was just as good advice to explain what a volcanologist is, because he was like, actually, a lot of people don't know what that is. And my question back to him was, oh, do they think it's, Vulcans from Star Trek? And I was like, also no. And I was like, oh, okay.
Dang it. Did the nerd reference go over his head? I'm sure it did not.
Nah, he understood it, but he was just like,
you didn't laugh at my joke.
Yeah. He was more just like, no, the rest of the world doesn't know what the average Joe knows.
He actually is like interested in that sort of science. So he's like, this isn't a joke, Grace.
This is not a laughing matter. This is serious.
Volcanoes are serious business.
No jokes about them. So we join a volcanologist in this crater where he is recording his research log, aka Captain Log, aka, yes, I was thinking of Star Trek also at this moment.
Captain's log. What? 15 days on this volcano.
He does kind of look like a very young William Shatner.
Okay, Kirk.
I guess just in the sense that he has like a very square jaw and light
brown hair.
That's it. Yeah, like light and white.
Cool.
That's it.
Hey, in animation, it could be him.
You know what? I'm saying it now. So his name is Professor Paley. He's got glasses, a thin mustache. He's wearing kind of like an archaeologist adventure-y outfit. And he's staring straight into the camera, shaking his head in confusion. And he's explaining that every volcanologist thinks that the volcano he's currently standing on is dormant. But then he poses, if that's true, then why is it? And his statement gets cut off as suddenly lava explodes from the ground beneath him. We see from like the camera's POV where it's just his face and then suddenly lava and flames. We see his glasses fly off, which is very funny. My glasses. And then the camera goes dead.
My glasses. So we can only assume the cameraman was killed.
I will say he was setting this up himself. We assume that the professor is for sure dead, though, because the camera just goes dead. Again, glasses. At the very least, blinded, because his glasses are gone.
So he can't film shit anyway.
Yeah, not the lava in his face that has just erupted has made him blind. The glasses being gone.
Glasses.
Yes. Unless you think that back at Beverly Hills High School, things are more relaxed. They are not. For we join the girls back in the lower 48 here, careening to the campus grounds in an out-of-control airplane, screaming as they suddenly tuck and roll out of the plane.
Oh my God.
I don't know what happens if the plane crashes into the school, if it just like goes on autopilot. Like, I don't really remember what happens to the plane. But the girls, screaming, have to evac this spy plane and crash land, like duck and roll into some bushes. As they remark, like, whew, this is a pretty fitting end to like our harshest mission yet. We like don't actually know what mission this was. I assume the fact that they crash landed a Whoop plane means that they were escaping something. I assume another explosion that they caused, that they had to like get the fuck out, and the plane partially got caught in the explosion, and thus why they had to crash land. But again, they're like dusting themselves off, getting twigs out of their hair, being like, basically like, man, we almost just died on that mission. Like
we almost just killed all of our classmates.
They don't care about that.
We almost died.
That mission was like totally harsh. And that's truly all they care about. And I'm sure actually they do have a moment of wishing that they had crashed the plane into the school, because moments later, Mandy is there, which is very funny because like it's seconds after they get out of the bushes. Like Mandy would have seen a plane crash. But instead, she's there to scoff at them. I don't know. She's dumb. Who knows?
Yeah,
she missed this plane.
She too lost her glasses and could not see.
She doesn't wear her glasses because she thinks it makes her look ugly. Nerd. So she's just blind all the time. And didn't want to look like a nerd. Contacts, never heard of them. Basically, she's there though to be like, you guys look like shit. Huh, makes sense because you guys are about to eat shit tonight at the track meet. And then walks away. So like a very pointed, she went out of her way, out of school. She saw the girls get out of the bush.
Ran out of the classroom.
Class. Teacher, can I go to the bathroom? Thank you. Ran out.
I need a hall pass.
Can you want a hall pass? Ran out to the bushes to specifically make fun of them and then go back to class.
Through the plane wreckage.
Climbing over like smoldering plane wreckage, like falling, getting bruised. You girls look like shit. She's like bleeding from some scratches.
Her like leg is on fire.
Some shrapnel hit her. Yeah, her leg's
shit's like
fire. Falling
behind her as she says it.
You guys are gonna totally fail at the track meet tonight. Walks
Bye.
back, climbs back over. But alas, in that moment, the girls remember like, oh, fuck, we do have a track meet tonight because apparently they're on the track meet or the track team, which is what they're so fast. I can't imagine actually being on a track team with them because like they outrun villains constantly. Yeah. Like, y'all would be fucked.
It's like not fair. It's not a fair fight. They'd be investigated for sure.
Exactly. They'd be like, you guys on roids? Which maybe. But yes, they do remember they have a track meet and they're just like, oh, God damn it. Like, we are so tired. That mission like wrecked us. Like, we just do not have the energy. But cut to the track meet. And unfortunately, for the first time ever, Mandy was right. The girls are so tired and like injured probably from this last mission that they are just absolutely dropping the ball here. Literally, they like drop the baton during the relay. They're knocking over the hurdles. They hit the high jump thingamajig. And we quickly learn back at Sam's house that night that they lost the track meet for the team that night because they did so abysmally. So right now, they're having a rough go of it. They're sitting in the hot tub at Sam's mansion, which, by the way, is shaped as a heart, which is like weird.
The hot tub is? Or the mansion?
Oh, the hot tub. Giant heart.
Weird. He's like, my parents are out of town. We can use this.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, get that shit clean beforehand. What are our parents doing in this? We don't like it. So, yes, after a very hard mission and a hard afternoon, they are freaking exhausted, just trying to chill out in this hot tub. But unfortunately, human protection doesn't wait for you to rest up. Because moments later, the hot tub turns into a whirlpool that sucks them down into Loop headquarters, a classic portal for them. So as soon as they land, the girls are literally just sighing. They're like too exhausted to even beg Jerry to not give them a mission, to even complain. They're just like, all right, what is it? Like, what do you want from us, Jerry? But he doesn't really give them a chance to say much because he tosses them each a beach bag and tells them, I know your last mission was rough, which is why I'm sending you guys on vacation now.
Aww.
But the girls rightfully are like, sure, Jerry. Like, it reminded me of like your last episode of being like, Jerry always like has an upper hand. Like, they do not believe him at all. They're like, okay. And they actually start pulling out different like objects from their beach bags, being like, oh, is this like suntan screen or like suntan lotion actually like a super slippery, poisonous, like oil slicking? And he was like, oh my God, no, that's SPF 20. Like, no, that's just sunscreen. Is this umbrella like a spear, like something like that?
Crossbow.
Yeah, crossbow. And he's like, no, that's so you don't get sunburnt. Wildly, I must directly quote Sam, who pulls out a beach towel and says, is this a bulletproof covering for escaping a jungle prison? Which, like, is that a mission you guys just went on or have had?
I guess so. She speaks from experience.
Yes. And I was like, I guess we have seen them break out of like villain prisons before, but like,
yeah, true.
It was such a specific ask of like a jungle prison, made me think like they were in like
bulletproof
the jungles of Colombia. Like,
They got locked up by Pablo Escobar.
Exactly. His hippos were their guards and they had to escape, but the hippos had guns and they needed bulletproof
the
beach
hippos
towels.
had guns. Oh God, as if they weren't terrifying enough.
Exactly. So yeah, so it gave me pause to be like, Sam, this seems extra personal, I would say, this question you just asked.
She's still recovering from that mission.
I mean, again, that's why I was like, is this the mission they just finished? Was a jungle prison escape situation.
Yeah.
Like also having to break out whoever they're there to protect, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, Jerry is like, no, girls, like, it's just a vacation. Like, I will send you with like an emergency kit just in case, like, you feel unsafe. After all, you are spies. People do probably want to kill you, but like, this is truly like a whoop work-life balance trip. Like, I need you guys to be like at full battery for when a mission does come up, and like clearly you're running on empty. So like, this is vacation. That's it. You seem skeptical.
Don't they have school?
He doesn't give a fuck about school.
I can tell.
He's like, I saw the way Mandy made fun of you. I know it's rough.
A break.
Yeah. He's like, homework is hard. No. Don't worry that when you come back. Actually, you know what? I was about to say, when you come back, you'll have more homework to do. I bet other Whoop agents have to do their homework for them while they're going.
You see like 50-year-old men huddled in a little room just like doing algebra 2.
Exactly. Like trying to remember, like reading The Crucible.
Writing an essay, but like
Larry, we gotta write the book report. Don't spark notes it. This Lively will know.
Oh, Letty. Anyway.
That was a very deep cut to our high school event.
It was our high school days.
So yes. And interestingly, and I only mentioned this part because you've mentioned it before in one of your past episodes, and we've been like, what the fuck? How does this happen? Because Jerry is just like, okay, vacation time, and then shoves them into a missile, which has happened in your episodes before. Yeah. Like, they travel just by missile sometimes.
By missile? Like, what does this mean?
Like, I don't know. Like, maybe they're always about to go bomb somewhere else, which like is concerning.
Yeah, it's like, just hop on. We've got this one pointed towards Japan anyway.
Right, that's why it's concerning, because they're going to Hawaii for vacation.
Yeah.
So extremely concerning situation going on here. The girls are like, we just finished high school history class this morning. It's too soon for this joke.
Too soon. Oppenheimer just came out like, no,
exactly.
It's too topical.
Yep. So, yes, that is how they travel sometimes. They crash land into Hawaii, into one of the beaches, on one of the islands. And we pretty much do confirm that, like, yeah, because at first I was also skeptical about this vacation thing. But we do confirm that it is indeed a vacation because they are greeted by Julie, who is one of the Whoop travel agents. Mm-hmm. She's blonde. She's super perky. She's like wearing like an all white like suit type of thing. And she's just like, hi, welcome to your vacation. You can learn to hula dance. You can learn to surf, go tan. You can do anything you want. And the girls are like, all right, Julie, we're really tired. You're too much, girl. Can you calm down? And she's like, yes, I absolutely can. So like, she is there actually to like cater to their every need.
Okay.
So like with that, like they're kind of like, she like takes, their bags for them. They're kind of like, oh, okay. Like this is vacation. And they actually end up seeing like there's other tourists there and that kind of stuff. So they're like, oh yeah, this isn't some, like, yes, not some like Whoop owned island or some shit. Like, okay.
Oh my God.
There's like people on vacay. Cool.
Yeah.
So they do start to relax. Sam goes to learn how to hula dance. Clover is, of course, tanning. And Alex is doing like some other type of dance, but she's a little clumsy sometimes. She ends up running into a bunch of surfboards that were sitting there in the sand and knocks them all over. Mm. And who is there to help her get up from her ass that she's now fallen upon? Corey. Some bronze, broy blonde boy who was there about to catch a wave.
Oh.
And I must point out that like every single time there's like a surfer bro or like a snowboarder bro, I'm realizing I think they use the same animation. Like they kind of all look exactly the same.
Like,
Or like
maybe just put new hair on them, or not
barely.
even that. Okay.
It's like they all have like the shoulder length, slightly have bangs, blue eye, like they all to me look exactly the same. So they start talking, and Alex is, of course, like so totally in love with him. And she says she's there for vacation. He says he's there for a research trip because he's a college student. So, like, sir, she is a child. But
First red flag of the episode.
Maybe he's 17. Maybe he graduated early.
True. Maybe he's like a
freshman.
We'll see. Yeah.
Still feels weird college to high school, but maybe it's legal because he's 17. We're gonna throw Corey a bone here. You don't want to.
I mean, he's doing a research trip. It's not like a freshman thing, but okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe. It's like a grad student thing.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe he started college when he was 15.
Yeah,
actually,
maybe Corey's
and he's getting his master's already. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I was judging Corey to be dumb because of everything.
Because he's a surfer, bro. Because he seems dumb.
But we're gonna overlook this red flag as we are forced to do oftentimes in this show. And Alex asks him out on the spot, which, like, you go, girl. And it turns out, like, yeah, he's free tonight because he was actually supposed to go, like, do some research this evening on one of the dormant volcanoes with his professor, Professor Paley. But he just, like, never showed back up. Which, like,
he's not a genius.
Corey's
not a genius. Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, I don't know. He was supposed to, like, show back up at the hotel, and, like, I don't know, man, never showed up. So, like, yeah, I'm free tonight.
Let's get dinner.
Yeah, like,
Corey,
no red flags.
The authorities.
Yeah.
Anyone? No. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's get dinner. Where do you want to eat?
Yeah, exactly. Like, he is so unconcerned that he's just like, well, I was about to go catch a wave if you want to go surf with me. And she was like, okay. So again, not concerned at all.
Maybe Professor Paley is, like, always just, like, ditching him and shit. He's like, oh, he does this all the time. He never shows up to shit.
He'll come back up eventually. Like, maybe. Whatever. I've learned not to sweat it, man. You know, that Mahalo lifestyle. So he just is like, I'm gonna go surf, come on, girl. And so she says, okay, most deaf, goes out to surf with him, and we learn here that Alex actually does not know how to surf at all, but goes so that she can seem cool. So they head out to sea, and Hawaii is pretty well known for its surfing, obviously, including its, like, big wave surfing. So like humongous, like over 20 feet waves. And Corey, no problem, man. He just starts catching these huge freaking waves. Okay. And he rides one perfectly to shore and waves at Alex, who is now on a rising big wave, when she fesses up that she both does not know how to surf and also is fucking terrified. And this is very dangerous because she's just on top of this 20, 30-foot wave now, screaming for help, which same. God. I would also probably do that.
Well, you wouldn't have even been on the wave.
True. I'd be like, no, I don't know how to surf.
Yeah, exactly. I'm terrified of this. Okay, cool. Just stay on the beach then.
Cool. Like, can we go to a different part of the beach that has beginner waves?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Cool.
But no, Alex was love struck by his golden hair and his golden brown skin right now, and his she's like, this is vacation Alex. Vacation Alex is down to clown. Like, let's see what happens.
And possibly drown.
Down to clown and drown. High risk, high reward for that date tonight.
Yeah.
So, yes, Alex is screaming on top of this wave, a totally not relaxing vacay anymore, starting to panic, and Corey is staying calm. He's, like, shouting to her, like, this is what, like, here's what you do to basically not fucking die right now, girl. Totally not chill of you, but, like, here's what you do. And so as this wave is rising, Alex is watching him. Again, we see him shouting from shore. All of a sudden, as he's standing there shouting, a literal ring of flames and lava surround him, like from the beach ground below.
Whoa.
Surround him, like erupt around him, and then suddenly disappear, just leaving like a black mark of ash of where he once was. Which, like, so I just got done listening to a series from last podcast on the left about the Manhattan Project.
Oh my
and
God,
they have a whole episode about like what happens to people, or what happened to people in Hiroshima. And like there are photos of literal like black marks where people were sitting when Hiroshima went off, or like the bomb went off in Hiroshima. So my first thought was like, did a nuke just go off?
Yeah,
like,
what the hell?
Is this like an A-bomb episode?
That was that missile that Whoop sent.
Exactly, just like bomb Corey.
Yeah.
They were like, Alex is supposed to be relaxing right now, Corey. Nuke him.
Yeah.
So I was momentarily concerned.
Jerry's call. He's like, oh no, I can't have one of my best agents almost dying. She's supposed to be on vacation.
Boop, hit the button. Yeah, Whoop has the buttons.
Wait, so you're saying he was in the water when this happened too?
He was on shore.
On shore. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, so all the water like evaporated?
Turned to lava.
I mean, like, maybe, yeah. But, okay.
Yeah.
Or at least he was boiling.
Yeah, he was on shore at this point. But it did like erupt and then just disappear. And that's what left like this black ash around. Understandably, Alex starts panicking even more, screaming even more. Eventually, obviously, just crashes into shore. She doesn't suddenly learn how to surf. She absolutely crashes. Sam and Clover obviously heard her screaming at this point. So they run and meet her. She tells them what the fuck just happened, saying it looks like a mini volcano eruption. And so they go, and this is obviously a crazy theory, they go to the spot, like this burn spot, but they realize that it's not ash that's left behind from like disintegration as if a nuke or something. Instead, like this black circle is actually obsidian, which is a natural glass that forms from very rapidly cooled lava. So all of a sudden, this like lava eruption theory that Alex just said, described as saying a mini volcano, they're like, what's the only thing that like makes obsidian is lava. So what is happening?
Interesting.
And even though they want to be on vacation, Alex is crushing too hard on Corey, wants to figure out like what the fuck just happened. Also, does he still want to go on our date later tonight?
We already made the res.
We have plans.
I really don't want to cancel it. Yeah, we have until 7 p.m. to find this guy.
But I also need time to go back and freshen up. So let's say 5 p.m.
5:30, 5,
It's 11 a.m. We gotta get moving here.
Yeah.
So they try to call Jerry, but somewhat hilariously to me, so they like call on their compactors that are like connected to Whoop HQ, but like from like Alex crashing, and then also like Clover and Alex kind of went out into like the ocean to like help get Alex back. They're all like waterlogged, and so they don't work, which is very funny because they can like send DNA samples on these compactors, but like they get a little wet, don't work anymore.
Short out. Like what?
This is like 2002, so they don't have the like put your smartphone in rice type of thing. So that like
methodology was not yet.
Yeah, that technology was not there.
Yeah. Wow.
So so their compactors don't work. They can't call Jerry. And so I think they like go talk to Julie, aka the Whoop travel agent. She just has like a computer, and so they're like, well, like, I guess they can't call Jerry from it, but they have other Whoop resources, including like a database of other Whoop experts. And to no surprise, there's a whole division within Whoop, a whole compound, perhaps you would say, dedicated to studying volcanoes.
Of course.
In Iceland. So, yes, they asked Julia, can we go to Iceland? And this bitch is like, no problem. she like full, I love like the little anime moments in this show because she like full, like she gets out her remote and just like holds out the remote and clicks a button and a fucking missile comes up from the beach.
With the missiles. Now we're bombing Iceland, I guess.
She's
Are they
like,
in NATO?
of course we could go to Iceland. Something was already on its way there. So they hop into the missile because that's just their casual mode of transportation now. And they zoom off to Iceland, which, by the way, has 130 volcanoes on it, which is why so many people go there to research volcanoes. Nice. I don't know how many are active, but there's a lot there.
That's still a lot, though. Yeah.
Yep. So crazy. It makes sense that Whoop would have a compound there. So, LOL, they land in their bathing suits. Julie did not give them warm clothes.
And Julie fucked up.
Julie was like, I'm here to book travel. That's it.
I can't pack for you.
Yeah. That's a different Whoop agent. Bring it up with them. So they are met there, though, by Dr. Sorensen, who is a Whoop agent, obviously in winter gear. He brings them inside, gives them some jackets. Here's like what's going on. And the inside of this truly, like, I can only again describe it as a compound in the middle of Iceland. It's like this all metal dome. Inside of it looks like NASA, like mission operation, like room or dome. And in it, they're monitoring every volcano across the entire globe. And the girls ask if there were any eruptions recently on the island in Hawaii that they were on, because they also understood that it was a dormant volcano. And he says, yes, there was one earlier today and actually one yesterday. But we think actually that there's like something wrong with our system right now. We think that these were actually false alarms because where they went off was supposed to be a dormant volcano. And if they had gone off, we would have been contacted that and like confirmed basically by one of our agents on the island, Professor Paley.
Oh.
And so the girls are suddenly like, this is maybe more serious than we thought because now we have a missing agent.
Yeah.
Not just a missing professor. Yeah.
Jerry, answer your phone.
Jerry, we're a little more serious now all of a sudden. This is now a national security crisis, possibly, Jerry.
Not good. Also, and Alex is also like, by the way, is there any policy on like office dating, assuming that like this Corey dude is like a Whoop intern then, and he's just not saying it? Yeah.
I will say they did not mention any other agent named Corey or like intern named Corey, but I think Alex is probably
directly under this guy.
Checking Julie's compactor, like the database to be like, what's the flow chart here? Is Corey just
is he on the books or is he
an intern? But no, I think we confirm unsuspecting student. Yes. Who's also missing. Alex is concerned more about Corey. Clover and Sam are like, there's another agent missing. Yeah. That's more serious, Alex.
Yes. Believe it or not.
Yeah. Before they can give more detail, though, more alarms start going off in the dome here in our compound. And the world map that they're looking at on this computer starts lighting up all over the place. The girls are like, what is this now? But Dr. Sorensen isn't alarmed, as yes, I absolutely would be. He just shakes his head and again is like, see, I told you, like, there's something wrong with the system. Like, those volcanoes in Hawaii would not have erupted. That was some bug. Basically, he thinks they're like getting hacked or something, I think, which like, or that's what I think he thinks. Also very concerning.
Not great.
But he's like, this is like physically impossible for this to happen. Like, all of these, like, an alarm goes off every time a volcano erupts. This would mean that almost every volcano across the world is erupting or is like it's like showing signs that it is going to erupt, which like is impossible. Would also mean massive total global destruction and like
the end of the world.
The end of the world. So like
we've seen weirder on this show.
But he's like, nah, Trick, that's not happening. So
you girls, you just don't understand how computers work.
Oh, do you have a crush? Cute.
That's cute. Go sit down while the scientists handle things.
Go. He literally, it's funny because like they're drinking hot cocoa during this like whole time. So I feel like he's like, here's your hot cocoa, okay?
Oh, you girls didn't even bring coats with you.
Cute.
Go sit down.
Which also I gotta say, like, I'm actually shooketh that like Clover wasn't immediately in love with like Dr. Sorensen, because like I'm like, he's a pretty good looking guy for like a little cartoon character. But like that's also making me think that he's like, oh, girls, toss.
Yeah.
You're just blinded by me, I know. It's fine, cute, etc. But yeah, Dr. Sorensen obviously goes off to deal with that. Actually, as a full other side note, we do see the other scientists, the other volcanologists in this lab, which I only point out, they're all wearing lab coats, so we know they're scientists.
Okay, cool. I was wondering how we knew. Cool.
Otherwise, they could have been anyone. But one of them like is in the background and has like, he's bald, but then has like fully like just sticking out from the sides hair. For like no reason, and he's just like,
it's a stressful job,
going about his day. And I'm like, he's a mad scientist, he's a villain. You know how like hackers will like get jobs at companies because they're like the CIA. We knew how, like, you knew how to hack us, so we want to hire you. Like in the background there's absolutely a villain who they were like, great, you're now working for us because we like what you did here.
It's like all these extremely handsome men and then like him. Like coiffed, nice slick back brown hair, and then him.
It's like it just like really stood out to me, so I needed to point this out, so that when you watch the episode, you can keep your eye out for it when they're in Iceland. Yes. So, anyways, Dr. Sorensen goes off to deal with that. The girls are like, okay, well, I guess we should go back to Hawaii to find this missing agent, because like this is now a very serious situation. Like, we'll get to Corey eventually, but like we got to find this agent first. So yeah, I guess they take another missile. They had their little like emergency kits, which good thing they did. And I think they also probably picked up other equipment at this Whoop compound. Yeah. So they skydive down to the rim of this volcano, down kind of into the crater, to investigate what happened to Professor Paley. This is apparently where he was supposed to be. They, in their spy suits, again, they picked it up somewhere along the way, but they also picked up other equipment. So they get these like sunglasses, like binoculars out, and they notice a pair of glasses down in the crater nearby. And they also notice a knocked over camera on the ground down there too. So they crawl down into the crater, which itself is like hella dangerous. Like boulders start falling all around them as they're just like down climbing into this shit. Yeah. I was like, you should have skydived right into the center of the crater. They like almost die like 7 times trying to get down into this. But whatever.
That's what happens when they put on the cat suits. They turn into cats. So they have 9 lives.
They're like, we're good. We lost 3 of them on that last mission, but like, we could spare one right now.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
It's for the date tonight.
Exactly.
Which is still on the books.
Still on.
Got them there and back. Real quick. Alex is like, I gotta do my
4
hair.
4 more hours.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta have time to do my makeup. This face doesn't put itself together. So safely, I guess they make it down there into the crater. They are able to get the camera and recover the footage from the camcorder that they saw. So they see Professor Paley's last message, including the sudden eruption of lava and then the camera going dead. So smartly, they're like, okay, let's like try and recreate this scene essentially. And they like set up the camera kind of like where they think it had been sitting so they can figure out like where Professor Paley would have been. Like the glasses obviously flew off, had a little trajectory there from flying off his face due to lava, et cetera, et cetera. But they're able to set it up and they go to the spot where they think he was standing when this happened. And as they look around, Clover laughs and points a perfectly circular crack in the rock and says, well, there's your answer. This is clearly a trap. And then, of course, Clover is right. It is a trapdoor, and the ground beneath them falls out because, yes,
No.
Clover was right, trapdoor, which also, like, there's a trapdoor into a volcano. That's terrifying.
Terrifying. This is Bond villain style again. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
You are. That's why that's the theme song, baby.
Yep.
And that is the perfect comparison because in this volcano that they fall into, they straight up fall into like a giant all metal room that is lined with prison cells.
Whoa.
Like full on, it's all like tinted red and like purple. Like,
where are those bulletproof towels at?
They're like rummaging through their beach bags. And they're like, look, we left them in Iceland. Oh no, oh no, oh no. And yes, this particular room that they fall into is straight up an all metal prison. They see Corey and presumably, and then confirmed, Professor Paley, both standing in some jail cells. But as soon as they see the girls, as soon as Corey and Professor Paley see the girls, they start whisper shouting at them, which is like the scariest type of shout.
Yeah.
Being like, get out, you have to get out of here. Like, get out before they find you. Like, go, 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 go. Which, like,
excuse
so scary.
Me? Yeah, because like, oh my God, weren't you just yelling? Something is here. What is here?
What do we need to be worried
Who's
about?
Here? Yeah.
But it's too late. As the girls stand up, they fully start to get shot at by laser guns. Which I can only describe as being held by like Star Wars, like Emperor Palpatine, like head to toe, like cloaks, like hooded black cloaks.
Oh, that's even scarier.
Yes, like fully hooded, shooting at the girls again with lasers, just straight up trying to kill them.
Yes, good.
And the girls book it and run out of this prison, being like, we'll come back for you, Corey. Our date's still on tonight for 7. Is that what you were gonna wear? You're gonna change, right?
I start thinking about your outfit. We're gonna be on a hard stop for the timeline here. We don't have a lot of spare time, so get that plan now. Think about what you want to eat too.
Do you have a comb in there in prison? You should start working on your hair.
You see Professor Paley like combing his hair for him. Like, you look good, kid.
Hair.
Yeah. You look good.
They're using like the prison like water to like wash his face, get like the burn marks off.
Yeah. Like the ash,
yeah,
or the obsidian.
And so the girls, yes, book it out of this prison bunker onto a bridge that, yes, you guessed it, goes over the entire pool of magma that is in this volcano. Which, fun volcano fact, technically it is magma because it doesn't turn into lava until it's on the surface, because lava is just erupted magma, and magma is anything within the Earth's surface still. So, fun fact, magma pool, lava, only when it erupts, baby.
Ooh,
so, in the center of... Now you know. The more you know. Knowledge is power. Ding! This PSA brought to you by
not PBS or PBS Kids or whomever.
Yeah, I don't think they're sponsoring this show.
Brought to you by Totally Spies.
Brought to you by Saturday Morning Mysteries.
Yeah.
So, yes, in the center of this magma pool, hanging above it all are like multiple metal bridges that again are going to different parts of the like actual rock of the volcano. And hanging, like all of the bridges are coming towards the center of the magma pool, because hanging above it is this giant metal like epicenter of some sorts that has like a little bridge circular around it, but is also essentially a giant laser gun shooting an active laser directly into the magma, which is making it boil. Now, don't think too hard about how Sam jumps to this conclusion and surmises.
Okay.
But she does, because she sees it and goes, oh, this must be connected to all of the other volcanoes in the world, and it's heating all of them up to boil so they can all erupt. Which, like, I don't think that every volcano is connected to every other volcano. I mean, like, I get they're all under the Earth's
Some
surface.
of them are, but like,
yeah. But
what was that professor or the doctor's name in
Professor
Iceland?
Oh, Sorensen.
Sorensen's like, take that, Dr. Sorensen, with your science and facts. Sam could steal his job in a heartbeat.
And then like Professor Paley is overhearing them from his jail cell, and he's like, "This is who Whoop sent to save me right now.
We're fucked."
Oh, God damn! I am an actual volcanologist as my day job.
Yeah.
No Whoop agent at night. We're fucked. Oh, we got to start. He's like making the comb to like a key to like get out. He's like, "We got to see everyone ask here, Corey.
Get out of here.
This is your final exam. Let's go." Which, okay, yeah, we're just, again, not going to think too hard about this.
Yeah.
We also don't have time to think too hard about it because Clover, of course, is like, ew, what kind of freak came up with this? And we answer that question very immediately because we hear a very spidery voice from another bridge say, "Yes, that would be me." And they look across the bridge to see a dude in the same robe situation, surrounded by others in that, again, robe, all holding laser guns. And at first I thought, because we do kind of get glimpses of their faces now, and at first I was like, are they like wearing like skeleton masks? Like, what's wrong with them? But we zoom in to basically see that this dude's face and all of his goons' faces are straight up Emperor Palpatine faces.
Oh my God.
Because they all look like melted, bony, like creepy ass fucking faces.
Heat exposure, man. It'll get you.
Oh yeah. And so he walks closer to like the epicenter bridge thing and goes on and says, "Yes, that would be me. Dr. Hephatis is my name, and global devastation is my game."
Oh, God.
Now, quick hat tip to the writers here. I'm probably saying this name wrong. Hephatis, something like that. But this is the Greek god of many things, including the Greek god of volcanoes.
Okay.
So, like,
good. Nice.
Good job, writers.
Cool.
The
more you know.
Brought to you by Saturday Morning Mysteries. So yeah, love that for him and the writers.
Love that for him.
The girls, though, do not love that for him.
Aw.
Yeah.
Joy kills.
Truly. They're not even like, oh my God, like they should have learned this in school and did not. They're just
it's
like.
It's because those other Whoop agents do their homework for them.
Right. They're reading, what is it? The Odyssey.
Yeah.
The girls should have been reading it, but they are instead.
Imagine the agents typing an essay on the Odyssey, like in Clover's voice.
like, oh my God. They're like grown-ass men.
Yeah.
The Odyssey was like totally a lame epic poem, or whatever it technically is. Anyways, yes. So the girls immediately are like, ew, what a freak. And they go into full force. They charge him. They like, kick the guns out of some of the goons' hands. They probably shove some of them off into the magma below. Like,
hey, self-defense.
You know what? They had guns. They had to protect themselves. This is what they get paid to do.
Exactly.
And they are not the human they're here to protect. Well, two of them are here to protect the human of Professor Paley. One of them, Alex, is here to protect Corey. They each have a human.
They each have one. Exactly. Everybody gets one.
Exactly. And so the rest are all just, bodies in
collateral.
The way. Yeah, collateral. Thank you.
Oops.
But unfortunately, though, Dr. Hephatis does something. I don't know exactly what. Again, don't think too much about the technology here. And the girls themselves are suddenly surrounded by flames and lava and light, much like Corey had been, and they can't get out without burning themselves. So at this, he simply smiles and takes off his hood to reveal, yes, a very burnt, melted-looking face, and says, "Careful, girls, the volcano fire," which is not a thing, by the way, volcano fire, that's not what it is, magma. "Ruined my face, as it will yours."
Oh no.
And yes, he basically confirms that Sam was correct. Professor Paley is like rolling his eyes in jail, still like, ugh.
She got lucky.
Fine. Yeah, it was a guess.
Lucky guess.
Yep. That, yes, his machine will erupt every volcano on Earth. And that once the Earth is covered in lava, they will all look like him. Yes, Bird?
Once the Earth is covered in lava, they will all be dead.
Professor Paley is like shouting from the prison.
Yeah. Idiot, everyone's gonna die. La la la, they'll all look like me.
Shut up,
they'll
nerd.
all look like me. In his Palpatine voice.
Like me. Now this would be a good spot to wildly speculate about this guy, but I want to save that. And instead, we're gonna have some volcano talk.
Yay.
And instead of talking about what would happen if every volcano in the world erupted, because that indeed would just literally mean global devastation, everyone would fucking die immediately, we're instead going to talk about what would happen if some of the lower 48's volcanoes, one in particular, went off at its full capacity.
Oh, no.
So we're going to talk about that.
Which one are you?
But what?
I'm trying inside. I'm internally guessing which one you're going to talk about.
Oh, okay,
go
great.
For it.
Yeah. Hold that thought for 1 second. Need to pause.
Are you bringing in your expert, aka Justin?
We sure are.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sit down. Yes. So this is our first. He's not a volcano expert,
but he knows rocks and stuff.
He works in a building with volcanologists, so that's as close as we're gonna get. And this is me.
Wait, Vulcan as in like Star Trek?
That too. And I would like to define that this is our substitute science consultant, because our actual science consultant is Lenny. But
I'm her understudy.
Yeah.
We have two. That's how official this podcast is. We have two science experts.
Okay.
You want to get in the screen?
Yeah, I'll scooch down here.
You're gonna make her kneel
again. I already proposed to you once. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So Vulcans are from Star Wars,
so
which is part of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh God! For a second, I was like, "Is he serious?" Never mind. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so
thank you for that correction.
As someone who
this is Justin, by the way, to people watching and or listening, and are like, "What's happening right now?"
Refer to me as the understudy.
We usually refer to as our executive
producer.
Yeah,
executive, whichever producer. Yeah,
Mako's the executive producer.
That's right.
Who's also here.
Yes.
Yeah, he provides our Zoom account for us. So, yes. So Justin studies space rocks, but he works in a building that volcanologists work in. So again, that's as close as we're going to get. So today he's going to talk to us about what would happen if the volcano at Yellowstone went off, which is similar to the volcanoes in Hawaii. So tell us first why and how the volcanoes in Hawaii are the same type as the one at Yellowstone.
So both volcanoes are what are referred to as hotspot volcanism. And that is where there's pretty much heating in our Earth at there's the core of our Earth, and then there's the mantle of our Earth, and then there's the
crust,
outer crust. Yeah, the crust of our Earth. And so you get at that core mantle boundary heating that goes on, and similar to like water boiling, you have convection cycles in which the hottest parts rise and then the cooler parts drop. That's a heat rising. And so you get that happening within our Earth in our mantle. And so you have hot spots rising within our mantle, and eventually those hot spots reach the crust, or in some way, shape, or form, whether it's below the oceans or below oceanic crust or continental crust. And so when those hot spots reach those points, they start to melt the crust, and then the melting crust, at that point of the melting crust, you see the volcanism start to happen. So the Hawaiian Islands, you see the melting oceanic crust of like Hawaii, and the Hawaiian Islands or the Samoan Islands, and you just eventually get this mountain forming, and it's kind of just like slower, more like flowing lava when you have it happening in the oceanic crust because of the material. The material tends to just kind of stay really, really tacky or more like honey. Which is what we see at the Hawaiian Islands, is that mountain formation and just kind of the buildup of the lava as the oceanic crust is melting.
And so it's like constantly flowing, but the one at Yellowstone,
not necessarily constantly, but it's a pretty consistent flow and it happens pretty often.
Flowing.
Yeah. And so then the one at Yellowstone is a similar one, but why is the one at Yellowstone, if that goes off, such a bigger deal than kind of this slow flowing ones?
So, like I mentioned, there's oceanic crust versus
continental
crust. Yeah, I said the word differently.
We've been Grace and I are taking notes over here.
This is the only research we've ever done, which is
literally
none but
having him come on and talk about it. Yeah.
But yeah, so the similar process happening under the continental crust. And so you have the melting of the continental crust, and it's different materials. And that material is more silicates. And because it's more silicates, it's like a different material that it's making. And that material that gets melted is a lot more water-like and not so honey-like. So when it does eventually explode, it's more, and when it does melt, it melts, there's a lot, the materials within it too are expanding. So it's like a lot more of a, imagine a bubble moving through honey, it's really slow. And then a bubble moving through water is really fast. So there's a lot more motion happening within it and everything, a lot more. And having a lot of gas moving really fast and expanding really fast also tends to be more explosive as well. So it's like a combination of those factors that lead to it being a much more, when it does have a big explosion, it'll be a really violent explosion. But it's not always like, it takes a lot to build up and get to that point. Because Yellowstone does also have lava flows in which it's like kind of that slower release, and it just kind of depends on the melt, depends, like it's like we actually see off gassing. That's why there's so much
like the
geysers and everything that's actually letting off of heat and gas from that heated region, the magma chambers that are within the earth. And so as the that's off gassing and like cooling or like releasing of that pressure within there, and then eventually sometimes you'll have, similar to Hawaii, where there's just like kind of oozing out. It's like one of those, everything has to come together just right for it to build so much pressure, and then the large explosion happens.
So we do not want the stars to align in this case.
Well, and
depends on who you're asking.
And doubly or villain origin story.
Grace, watch out.
Well, and so the location too of Yellowstone is significant, right? Of like when it goes off of why it would be so bad.
Well, it's, I guess, so there's the one fact that actually, so that hotspot has been there for a really, really long time. And you can actually, because it's interesting, even though like the core is right here and like say the hotspot's right here, we actually have movement of everything above it too. So like that, those aren't always aligned. So you can actually see where that hotspot and other volcanoes have gone off. It's now currently in the Yellowstone spot, but you can actually see the path of where it's gone. It used to like, there used to be volcanism closer to like southeast Oregon and then through Idaho, and you can see different calderas. Calderas is like when you have a big explosion, the like all that material comes out, and then material like explosion, material builds up, and then when it all comes out, it crushes under, and you kind of end up with like a bowl. And that's what a caldera is.
But isn't Yellowstone on like continental plates or like on a divide?
It's on continental plates, but not a it's divide. Along the continental divide. That really have to, that's just the middle of the country, and like where water goes one direction or the other.
So what would happen when Yellowstone goes off? if it goes off full force again, because it has before.
Again, to
right?
add to the location thing of like, again, it's not a super populated area of the country. It's Montana, Idaho.
Well,
Get rid of it.
Yeah, so it's one of those.
Idaho wanted to secede anyway.
Yeah,
Let them.
those three states are going to be the ones that are most affected by the explosion. And again, those areas are not very populated, so you're gonna want to evacuate them. But
all
like
20 people.
Yeah, you'll see like this explosion will be global. The effects will be global, but the direct like
talk about the global effects.
Well, we'll start with closer of you'll get ash and like the direct like lahars and like the heat wave coming out of the volcano will like affect those direct surrounding states. Debris will fill the air, and so if you've heard of Mount St. Helens, and the amount of material that came out of that, they're like, oh, that was a decently sized volcano. It's expected like if Yosemite were to go off, it'd be about Yellowstone would go off. It'd be about 6,000 times the material.
Wow.
So significantly larger. And because of that, all the material would go into the air, and you'd see throughout all of North America, like layers of ash. A layer of ash pretty much would like go throughout all of North America. So
and like would cover everything, or would just be in the sky. I guess eventually come down.
Yeah, it eventually comes down. Like I know last time Yellowstone erupted, they found material in Mississippi and everything from it.
You're not safe on the East Coast either, bird.
I know. We're all fucked. Even especially Idaho. And so so the ash being in the air too, like, or how long would it be like covering the sky, covering the air?
So yeah, and that's kind of the next big thing is the after effects would be the ash in the air would actually cause global cooling for the next.
Oh, thank God, it's hot as hell. So
maybe not a bad thing.
Yeah, the next like 10, and that's the short-term effects because there's so much debris in the air, and like it'll affect like plant growth and.
Oh yeah, we won't have any crops though, but like
it's cool.
Animal
we'll just eat meats. Oh wait, no, never mind.
But so yeah, you'll get like the next like. I don't know. I can't say actually how long it would be, but you'll get cooling for a while because you're literally blocking the sun from getting to the earth, and that's going to be a global
we
effect.
Don't need it.
Nah, overrated.
Probably see like a couple degrees, and then in the long run, because of the gases coming out of it, you'll see then a trend of a little bit warmer once you get all of that debris out of the air and to settle. But it'll be like, I think tens to hundreds of years to kind of a little bit of scale of how long it'll take for all that debris to get out of the air.
Not too long in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of like geologic time, which speaking of, how often does Yellowstone go off?
So I mentioned
or in full force, I guess.
Lava flows earlier. Those I think were predicted every like tens to thousands of years. And then like the really large explosions of like the, as they say, the big one. Those are like in the hundreds of thousands of years to millions of years. So like
we might be okay.
Yeah.
We're like it's year 900 or 9,999.
And we're like, phew, we're good.
God. So in terms of calderas, how big is Yellowstone? Is it one of the biggest? Is it like a smaller one? Is it like the one to worry about? Or I guess worry in terms of like if it were to go off. It might go off tomorrow. No.
So this I only know from Google searching.
Hey, that's more than I've done.
It's actually not the largest in the US.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's another larger one in I think it was the New Mexico area. That's a larger super volcano.
Wow.
There's like 20 or 30 in the world. of these super volcanoes.
We got two. USA.
We have 3.
We have 3. USA.
And it was interesting. It's not. They said it's so. Yellowstone is considered an active volcano, and like it's just like a matter of waiting for it to happen again. There's actually another super volcano that was last time it erupted was in southern Utah, and it was actually
you guys just like following them, don't you?
Just barely missed that one.
Well, that one is considered dormant, so it's like no longer like a concern, really. At least currently it's considered dormant. That things are complicated, things can change. But that one was also like significantly larger than the Yellowstone volcano as well.
Damn.
That's what I was reading. Yeah.
So how does a volcano go from dormant to active? I could see the other way around, but what are those things
you
you're
shoot
talking
a
about?
giant laser into it.
Oh,
in
like
our
Dr. What's his
episode.
name? Sidious. I forget his name already. Dr. Sidious.
Insidious. The movie.
From what I understand in mentioning earlier is kind of mentioning the heating and cooling thing and like the convection cycles of like it could be just you kind of had a colder point going up towards the surface, and eventually you could have another hotter part of that cycle come up and then start reheating everything to start a volcano up again. But again, these are really long cycles.
Yeah. Just wondering. I mean, you never know. Life is crazy, man. Yeah. Taking notes. Building my laser over here.
Schematics for my laser gun.
Yeah.
I think this is
no big deal.
all of our villain origin story right now.
Pretty much.
Happening live.
Right here. You guys are seeing it happen. Please don't report us to the feds.
Great. Do you have any other volcano questions for Justin?
I don't think so. Maybe, but then we'd be talking for hours. So we can leave it at that. I think that helps contextualize this episode and how ridiculous the villain plan is. So thank you, Justin. Exactly. That was fantastic. Okay, we gotta have more guest appearances. Let's go. Nice. So, very good. Very good. I just learned so much.
All in mind. Cut to the girls are tied up by their ankles and slowly being lowered into the magma.
Oh my God.
Probably horrible deaths.
Yes.
Because also, we should have asked our science consultant. I would imagine that this would both mean being burnt alive and drowning at the same time.
Yeah, probably burning first and then, Yeah,
either way.
It's not good.
Not good. A double whammy we don't want to have. No. But luckily, Sam uses some gadget that she has to hit a reverse button on the machine that's lowering them into the magma. And so they're able to ride back up to the epicenter and launch right back where they left off with their ass whooping. Clover at one point hits one of them so hard that his eyes, just turn into the spirals, which I'm like, is he dead? Probably.
Maybe.
Another one, hilariously, again, because the trauma is always worse. Reliving traumas that's the worst damage, because Sam redirects one of the laser guns into a material that then explodes in the guy's face. So now he's been burnt twice, probably from the magma. Wow. And now this. And then Alex is able to get the keys to the jail and free Corey and Professor Paley.
Free Corey, ... Oh yeah, also you too, Professor Paley.
She actually frees Professor Paley first and then looks at Corey and is like, you can pay for dinner tonight?
Are you wearing that shirt?
You said you were going to change, right? Okay, come on now.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
Let's do this. So they all run into kind of the epicenter laser gun thing. Alex brings them over to Clover and Sam over there. As they try and break it, Clover just starts smashing the shit out of it, as we see there's a bunch of computers on it, more alarms going off of other volcanoes about to erupt, including maybe Yellowstone, who knows.
Oh God.
But yes, Clover is smashing the shit out of them to stop this laser gun from happening and from building up. But it's somewhat too late for the volcano that they're in because the magma below them has started to rise higher and higher. It's seeping onto kind of the like ground that this epicenter is sitting on. So they're all like jumping onto like the computer, like the giant computer in the center. Understandably freaking the fuck out because they're surrounded by magma at this point and it's rising. And then one of them comments, as they are yet again facing death directly in the face, that this magma kind of smells like garlicky, which is kind of weird and like
very weird. Wait, bring Justin back in. Is
this where garlic comes from?
Oh man, that's why it gives me heartburn. Oh my god.
God, straight
literally
magma
burning my heart.
Literally, I am dying, help me.
Yeah.
And it's like not that hot. Like, wouldn't this like epicenter be melting? And so Sam, like an idiot, which we've seen her do before, dips her hand into it and tastes it.
It tastes. The fuck, Sam? Okay.
And says, wait, this isn't magma. This is marinara sauce.
No. Are you fucking kidding me?
And the same spidery voice says, that's right. And they all look over to see the doctor, what's his face, Emperor Palpatine and his goons with their guns, walking through the quote unquote magma, holding their cloaks up so they don't get their cloaks dirty. And they walk right up to the girls.
They're black. They show
marinara. Like, oh, marinara, that stains.
Oh my god.
And they walk up to the girls and they start pulling their melted looking faces off to reveal, shout out to your last episode, Jerry.
Oh,
and the other Whoop agents.
God, what the fuck is going on?
If y'all are confused, go listen to Bird's last episode and her conspiracy theory, her speculation during that one, which we are now proving to be fucking true.
Yeah, in the first season too, you said, right? This is like what,
the third
episode 3?
Episode.
Oh my god, yeah, we should have known much earlier. Oh my god. Carrie, what the hell?
Even Corey, the hot surfer dude, pulls his mask face off to reveal
he's wearing a mask too.
That he's not a hot boy. He's a fucking nerd with like pimples and glasses and red hair. And Jerry chuckles and explains that like, oh yeah, this actually used to be like a volcano, like some villain's like lair in a volcano. And once we took care of this villain, which I assume is the one who now works in Iceland, by the way, because he's in a volcano.
Yes.
Then so now we just use this whole volcano for our annual field test. She's so mad.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep, you hate to see it happen.
There are 5,000 things that I want to say right now. Go on. What the fuck?
So the girls, unfortunately, though, didn't pass the field test. Because if this had been real magma, they and the captives would have been dead as fuck. Which basically just means they got to go to Whoop Summer School.
Ugh. That's even worse.
I'm sure this is the worst punishment.
Yeah.
They're like, magma, take me. I would rather have that than summer school.
Kill me. End it now.
Take me now. They jump into the marinara sauce. And the girls are understandably, again, pretty fucking mad. And they were already exhausted. So then when the magma starts to like swoosh around and the like walls around them start to rumble, they're like, Jerry, is this extra credit? Like, we already failed. Just send us to fucking summer school. But as some of the bridges start falling from the volcano and epicenter and everything starts shaking, Jerry and the agents look terrified and say, this isn't part of the test. Run.
Yet again, we've got the boy who cried wolf. It's like, we don't believe you, Jerry.
Yeah, like, Jerry, fool us once. Shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me.
Shame on
this
me.
third
You
time,
will not
though,
fool me again.
I don't think so. But Jerry, all of the agents, Corey, the nerd now, and Professor Paley are all actually fucking running out of there. Because who would have thought that building a fake volcano layer in a real volcano would still mean there's an actual volcano present here. So again, wrong place, wrong time. That million-year cycle Justin was talking about.
The stars aligned, unfortunately.
Yep, stars align. But the girls do get convinced again as they see the bridges snapping. They feel the heat rising. Yeah, they're like, this seems wrong. Because like when the bridges land, they just like immediately disintegrate. So they're like,
oh shit. Oh no,
that's
not marinara.
Yeah, they're like, it's a lot hotter in here now.
Yeah.
We gotta go. So they also start sprinting off from the epicenter, cross the bridge. Right as they get across it, that bridge collapses and the like lava tube, like the tunnel they're in the volcano, starts filling with magma very quickly, rapidly after them. Huge boulders start like falling, like the cave is like collapsing, or like the tunnel is like collapsing behind them as well. And one of the girls notice that far, far above them, looking up, they do see like a small crack in the volcano. And since they're all realizing like, yeah, we can't outrun magma, we got to find a way to escape like through this crack up top. And from skydiving, they still have their parachutes. So they toss it, I think, to Clover, and Clover puts it on and like leaps above the magma, which at first I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Clover? Again, she does not want to do summer school. But no. Hot air rising, giant parachute like thing, hot air balloon time. So she like Willy Wonka style starts floating towards the crack. Everyone's able to jump on her or like a rope that she's hanging down.
Like all the agents and stuff.
Yeah, all of them, everyone. It's a lot of hot air. They're all hopping on board, baby. And they start to float up, and they just get out of the volcano as it actually indeed fully fucking erupts. Lava we see cover the entire island, which, yes, Whoop probably does own from this old villain. And Jerry, as they're floating away safely now, says to the girls, all right, you passed the test. Because you saved my life from the lava and magma that was exploding. And that's it. That's the end. You're
I'm so mad at Jerry. I'm so mad at Jerry.
Twist happened, I was like, thank God you had your wild speculation last week that like Jerry is always pulling the strings. Because then I started thinking about all of my other episodes being like, I could see it. Like, I could see this being the case. And then it just
and
was
then
Jerry.
This happens. Like straight up Jerry. He planned the whole thing.
And everyone was a plan.
Everyone. It's like even the people in Iceland, because I just started laughing at the thought of like they intentionally messed with the software or whatever to like make it all light up. Like this was such a deep con. What if they actually didn't even fly to Iceland? They just took them to like Canada or somewhere like cold or something. Like I don't even know. Oh my God.
So there you go.
Wow.
There you have it.
What the fuck? I thought it was enough of a plot twist when you said it was marinara. I was like, what is this? Some pizza monster?
It's melted cheese.
Melted cheese. I really thought you were gonna say that. Or like they put out like a mozzarella stick instead of a laser gun. Great job. Great job. Wow. I don't know how you kept a straight face through all that.
It was so bonkers.
Knowing the twist. Wow.
Yeah. So it was a wild episode.
M. Night Shyamalan wishes he could write a twist that good in his movies.
Totally Spies walked, so M. Night Shyamalan could run. As if there were never plot twists in movies until this show came along. The call is coming from inside the house style. So
the marinara is from inside the kitchen.
it's from inside the pantry.
Wow. Yeah. Great job. Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
I'm so pissed at Jerry and quite like low key these writers too. That was insane. Why did it have to be marinara? I'll never be able to eat a pasta dish the same way again.
You'll be like,
Wow.
every time you eat pasta, you'll be like, did you know lava is actually just erupted magma? And
Like,
it's
what?
not usually
Okay.
garlic. They'll be like, okay, bitch. Why you bring that
Okay.
up again?
Interesting. Again, you brought this up last week at pasta night. The hell?
We get it. So yes, that was the episode. The twist was
wow.
the double twist was just twist of the knife in the back by Jerry.
Yeah.
Actually, and a third to Alex, because when she sees Corey, she's like, oh,
she's like, oh.
So she's like disgusted by him. Which is very funny.
I think this is a groundbreaking episode for Saturday Morning Mysteries. We had our first guest. We had the wildest twist I think that has ever happened in an episode. This is straight up like, without a doubt, the craziest twist. Yeah. I'm glad that we continued our Totally Spies because otherwise
we would have just speculated
into about some other
abyss.
Stupid show right now.
Except now, like, you're not going to do your last episode because you're so mad at the show.
I'm so mad. I'm like, I'm never watching this show again. Just kidding. It actually, it makes me love the show even more because,
and again, like
who else would do something so ridiculous in a show? Only Jerry, only Totally Spies.
Yeah, and again, like proving your point, if Jerry on an annual field trip pulls shit like this off, what do you think he's going to do for real missions?
Exactly.
Oh, of like international concern. Like, he's pulling some wild shit for sure.
Pulling some strings. He wants that tech. That's what it is. Every time it's either a field test or there's some technology that he wants Whoop to have that he can't just like acquire on his own. So he's got to think of some convoluted plot.
And he gets it.
And in this case, he kind of got both because he got that laser too, or whatever.
Right. Like, again, from
we got
the
this
villain
island
who's now working
field test
in Iceland.
In Iceland.
Like, again, keep your eye out for him. It's absolutely the guy who had this layer.
And it's literally so I love that you just kind of randomly chose this episode too. Like you didn't volcano. Yeah. And then it turns out being the perfect carryover from last week's episode where we're like speculating that all the other students in Espionage 101 are actually Whoop agents, like hiding in bushes to ensure that the girls
get the pamphlet for this
class. And then in this episode, like,
they were
actually agents.
They were acting like a hot boy, so Alex would care about this guy in order to go save him. Like, yes, it's all.
I love that he ended up being a nerd because when you said that Corey also took a mask off, I was like, why did he have to be in a mask? Alex has never seen him before. Because otherwise she wouldn't have been attracted to him, which also burned to that poor little like intern.
There is a moment where he's like, little nerdy voice. But
hilarious,
just
amazing.
Like,
and I guess that date is off tonight after all.
He still thinks it's on. It's off for Alex.
No, it's off. It's off.
Him for sure. And it's just like a wild, like, you and I always talk about how we're like always accidentally on the same page. Like I picked this episode after our last time we recorded. Again, saw a picture of a volcano and I was like, well, I'm doing that episode. And like just pure serendipity and like, again, always the same wavelength, like
stars aligning yet again.
Constantly. So yes.
Good God. Amazing.
Wild episode.
Well, I'll have to see how I can tie next week's, aka the next episode we're about to do. I can think of some ways. There were some things you said earlier in the episode where I was like, oh, that kind of ties it into next week. But
actually
not to that level though.
Well, hilariously, at the start of this episode, while I was taking notes while I was watching, when Jerry was like, no, it's vacation. I had originally written down being like, okay, make note about how like Jerry's lying that it's vacation so that like whatever villain actually happens, like we can speculate that it was Jerry who set up the villain and stuff. And then when it was actually Jerry, I was like, and then also took that part out at the beginning so I wouldn't give it away. Yeah, exactly. So yes, anyways, between now and next week, while our audience recovers from this episode, who should our listeners and viewers tell about this show?
I mean, I want to say one thing, but instead I'm going to say tell an Italian chef.
Good.
To tell someone who's, good with pasta recipes, good with pizza, someone who just loves them some marinara sauce.
They're willing to bathe in it.
Yes.
Feel a volcano of it.
Melt in it, if you will.
This like volcano of marinara is like the holy grail for like Italian chefs. They're like, I know it exists somewhere out there.
It's like Indiana Jones style, looking for this volcano, marinara volcano, Mount Marinara, if you will.
Perfect.
Just like
yes, I think. Well, I'm just the obvious one. You gotta tell a volcanologist.
Yeah, that's who I wanted to say.
I appreciate you giving me the easy one.
Yeah,
thank you.
Have Justin get on the phone and tell his coworkers,
exactly,
your friends who
I'll go visit
already.
Campus. Yeah, like, hey, this episode's for you. And till next week, we'll see you then. So,
bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.